The title here is the SU2 results for the Elliptic Prediction Workshop 5. So again, I'm Andrea Rausa. Here I'm going to present the numerical results via SU2 for the Elliptic Prediction Workshop number 5. And it's just a matter here of showing the results. We're not going to deep dive into the solutions and the comparison between other solvers. That will be the subject of the SciTech paper that is being writing, that we've been writing, where all the results, all the comparisons will be condensed into. So what's the Elliptic Prediction Workshop 5? The Elliptic Prediction Workshop 5 is a recurrence of the Elliptic Prediction Workshops. It's the fifth iteration, which each iteration happens between 2 to 3 years apart from the other ones. And in this case, we have a CRM, so a common research model, which is actually a half model of a configuration of an aircraft configuration, which has tails, horizontal, vertical tails, and main wing, with also possibility of having slat, flaps, and nacelles. So extensive wind tunnel campaign has been run, not by us, of course, but by Onera and other huge companies on different configurations. And since we have this huge database of experimental results and also other solvers, it's a really, occasion. Nice opportunity. Yes, opportunity. Sorry, a really nice opportunity for us to test SU2 with these kind of difficult problems, especially if you have the possibility of accessing. I don't want to say huge computational resources, but relatively high computational resources. Then please ask me if you need the meshes, the config files, and so on, such that we can also try different other meshes, other configurations. So that for this prediction workshop, for the fifth one, we have 3 test cases. The first test case is in conjunction with the verification workshop. So everyone uses the same meshes and everyone uses the same turbulence model, which we'll talk about it later. And the aim of this case here is to assess the implementation of such turbulence model within all the solvers. So if they all reach the same values of CLs and so on, then maybe the turbulence model is well implemented in the solver. Then the second test case is to compute polar curves for other 4 subcases. So test case 2.1, 2, 3, and 4. And as we increase the number of the test case, we increase the complexity of the geometry. So we see here these images. We have the first test case 1, which has just half fuselage and the wing, and that's it. The test case 2.1 has also the fuel tanks and horizontal and vertical tails. And then for test case 2.2, we have the addition of slats. For test case 2.3, we have slats and flaps. And then for test case 2.4, we have the nacelle. So you can see that the geometry actually increases in complexity as we go towards the higher number of test cases. And then for case 3, which I have not participated because I was really having nightmares about it already, there is a study effect on the variation of Reynolds number. For the same geometry, Reynolds number were varied in, I think there were 3 values, 3 mandatory values and 1 optional value, which was the lowest one where also transition may occur. And also the geometry was fixed. So only the meshes were changed between all the Reynolds number. So again, for these test cases here, there is a possibility of using common meshes. So, for example, pointwise or ISM or Helder mesh provided a huge set of meshes which you can download in CGNS formats or whatever and use as you like. Or you can also use your meshes. it's for test case one, maybe it's mandatory to use all the same meshes. Otherwise, we have problems in actually determine if it's a tolerance model problem or if it's a mesh problem. Whereas for all the others, you can use yourself, your meshes, your in-house meshes. So there are 5 technical focus groups: RANs, adaptive grids, RANs, higher order, so the DES simulations, and so the pressure simulations, hybrid RANs. No, sorry, higher order is FEM simulations. Hybrid RANs, DES simulations, so the delayed attached addings and so on, and then one model DES. And for each of those, grids are provided. So the grids for RANs are different from the grids for WebNet and so on. In our case, there were 2 participants for the RANs technical focus group. It's myself, and I'm going to present only the results from myself in this slide here. Otherwise, it's going to be quite a long journey. And also an ISO, which is also here, which has run lots of test cases also, and all of these will be in the site paper. So we can start from test case 1. Here I've listed the values of the flow conditions using the config files. So we have Mach number 0.2, essentially incompressible. Reynolds based on the mean aerodynamic chord, or 5 times to the 6, 10 to the 6. Infinite temperature in Rankine degrees, of course. It's 290 Kelvin, and envelope attack fixed in such a way that they assured us that there shouldn't be a separation. So we went blind on that. It's a blind test case, no experimental results. And this is the geometry. Yeah, again, it's just half fuselage and a wing with no additional complexities. So in these cases, we use, I use them also, I think, in ISO. These are sets of meshes created by pointways. So we have V1, V3, V5, V7, and V9, so 5 different level of refinements. There are also up to V17, which is, I think, 500 million points, but it's maybe too much for me. And we can see here the increase of number of points and number of cells as we go down, as we go up in the numbering of the meshes. The tolerance model selected by this workshop is the SA with FT2 term, QCR 2000, rotational correction with the constant 0 equal 1. So the actual implementation of the rotation correction has a 0 equals to 2, but they ask for implementing a 1 because 2 may lead to separation and 1 is a little bit more conservative. And so we can have solutions without separation, which are easier to compare on the solvers. So here are all the results. So all the results are available on the Highly Prediction Workshop website, and they are in textbook formats. So good luck with that. And in these cases, they are just one angle of attack. But when you have more, then it's kind of difficult to post-process unless you have a textbook license. Here are the CL curves with so the x-axis for all the 3 graphs are the kind of representation of the number of points. So the left we go in the x-axis, the more points we have. So the mesh is increasing in resolution. Whereas here we have CL, CD, and CMY, the pitch moment coefficient. So I tried 4 different way of tackling this problem. So we have we actually are, me and I, so the R005 among the 25 people here. So I tried the roll plus master reconstruction, a hot start strategy within different meshes. So as we increase the size of the mesh, I restart from the previous one. And then the mesh family, so there are more than ones. These are the pointwise mesh family. Then I tried also this one with the JST. So we see the 1 and the 4th use the same meshes, and instead of roll plus muscle, I use the JST convective steam. Whereas I tried also with the ISM meshes. These meshes are fully hexahedral, and I tried with the cold start and hot start. So either I restart the solution for the previous mesh, or I just start from 0. And yeah, maybe I don't know if you can kind of see. So the only lines that matter. So the only lines that matter are the ones that have markers on it. So different colors mean different turbulence model. Just because not everyone use the full SA QCR stuff, but sometimes they use just SA or unidentified turbulence model. So we can see they all converge to a kind of value of around 1.06, 1.08. And in my cases, I have kind of different outcomes for the CL and also for the CD and the CMY. So for example, this curve here, which you see that kind of increases by a little bit shy, is the R005.3, is this one here. Whereas the one that goes more towards the solution, the general solution, is actually the R005.2, so the cold start. So actually, in this case, I got better results by running each mesh independently, and maybe we can see why later. So here I'm going to show you one of the way of post-processing the results. So there are tons of ways that they provided us via TechDoc format. I think I'm short on time. Okay, right. Yeah, but it's so these are surface visualization of the skin friction coefficient. And here we have, I just used the finest mesh for S2. Here we have, this is the row with cold start on the full hexahedral, and this is row with hot start on the mixed element hexahedral and tetrahedral. And these are a random picked solution from all the other ones. So we can see that it should be, as all of them are fully attached flow, as the workshop presenter said. And in case of cold start, we actually have attached flow, whereas in case of hot start, we have separation towards the tip. And we may ask why. And this is just because it comes from the previous meshes. So everyone has, for courses meshes, has a separation on the upper surface. But if we try hot start strategy, at least the way I tried it, this separation kind of decreases in size, but it remains there. So maybe increasing the resolution of the mesh again helps this solving this problem. So we see that it decreases in size, but I just had to stop at V9, otherwise Professor might have killed me. But if we use the cold start strategy by starting each time from 0, we see that the separation is really just now towards the tip, and then it's just it's not there anymore. So in this case, cold start was actually better. And then I tried to plot the iterative convergence of, in this case, is the CL and the residuals for the density. These are normalized values of iterations. So each time I divide by the maximum number of iterations, otherwise those curves cannot be visualized. So we can see that actually the convergence was quite nice in the terms of orders of magnitude of reduction in the residuals. So we see from -3 to -8, -9, also -10 for the courses meshes. And but they stagnate a little bit, so we see sometimes they go up, and that's where I stopped the simulation and I restarted. And then here we see the convergence, so the fact that the CL, the functionals are actually reaching a value, they're not changing anymore. So instead here we have some oscillations, but this is just because it's fully separated, so it just cannot converge the value. So maybe I will go to the experiment, so the test case 2, because for test case 2.2 we have also experimental results, so this is more interesting. In this case, we have quite, so this is dead. So we have quite a large number of angles of attack to try. And the stall is expected to be around 17.7. So they tried to make us use more and more computational resources on that angle of attack. But okay, so the determinist model is simply SA, standard SA in this case. 3 levels of grid refinement, because for the third one it really is 60 million points, and then the next one is 300. So I couldn't try it. Yes. So here again, you can see all the results for the all the numericals on the solvers, CFD solvers. This is these are images taken from the actual presentation of the sum up for the runs made by Dr. Boris Diskin from NASA. And so here there are also the experiment results, which are the dashed lines. The different colors means just different turbulence model. So we can see that general agreement at lowest angle of attack is nice between both experiments and amongst run solvers. But as soon as we go to higher angles of attack, some solvers just deviate and stalls faster than the CL max is not really well captured. And also the CMY is the most deviation from the actual experimentals. So an actual experiments. So here I plotted just our solutions from SU2. I tried again JSD and rope plus muscle. Again, if you compare to the top images, you can actually see that the finest meshes, which are the one which you cannot see, of course, the dashed ones, are in agreement with the other safety solvers and also with the trends against experimental results. So this is kind of good. Actually difficult to graph here because there are lots of curves, but we can see the surface streamlines visualization for 10 degrees of angle of attack. So here, there's 5.1 and 5.2. So this is row plus muscle, and this is JC in this case. And these are other solvers, just randomly picked. And you can see that in this case, on 10 degrees of angle of attack, we are all on the same page. So completely attached, flow attached. Here there is some recirculation towards the fusage. If we go to 17.7, it's where the fun start, because we have pizza slices. So we have pizza slices which really change among the safety solvers and creates different solutions, because pizza slices means that fluid separated, so we have deep in the CL. So these actually being able to predict these pizza slices means that we are able to predict CL max. And for reference, experiments doesn't have these kind of pizza slices. So all the solvers in this case have these pizza slices that are not in experiments. And if you go even higher for 21.5 degrees, where all run solutions are completely separated, we can see that there is no more any agreement between any CFD solver, whatever. Even changing JST to row. In this case, JST, I couldn't find the solution, but I'm sure I have it. So this is just for reference how the flow was for 17.7. For 21.5, one can see there is a huge separation starting from the trailing edge, which you cannot see over here on the other picture. So conclusions, 3 test cases have been inspected here, case 1, 2.1, and 2.2. So we can see that in this case, for case 1, hot start strategy really kind of failed to predict the actual fact that there is no separation, because we dragged the separation from coarser meshes to the finer ones. So we maybe need other level of refinements. So again, if you are able to run some finer meshes, then feel free to contact me about it. And general good agreement within all the other safety solvers have been achieved, also for, in this case, the cold start as the value where we are aiming in mesh refinement. So working with our field development. Later, for case 2.1, we can see that actually mesh, this is true for all solvers, mesh refinement increases the CL max. Increases the CL max and delays the stall. But there is no agreement again between all the safety solvers as where is this angle of stall, and again also for the same solver between different mesh families. So this is quite concerning. And then no general agreement after stall. So for the stall pattern. Whereas, no, we haven't seen 2.1, sorry. But 2.2 is kind of same So good agreement at low levels of attack, occurrences of pizza slices really degrade the solution and increases the divergence of solutions between each solvers, and not general agreement on stall path. So future developments are essentially try finer meshes and trying improving the convergence of the solution. So maybe if we reach machine zero residuals, or maybe letting it run longer, then we can achieve better results. So in the final SciTech paper, there will be also results for 2.3 and 2.4 cases. Possibly, if we have the possibility of running 140 million points meshes, contact me. For case 2.4, because it's the third level refinement. It's already 140 million points. And lots of post-processing that I've not shown you. So the profiles in the boundary layer for velocity and so on of the CP distributions. And okay, everything will be in the SciTech, hopefully, if we manage to put everything there. So again, the same European stuff. Okay.
Well, thanks a lot, Andrea, for the talk and also for the work that went into this high-level prediction workshop. And also, of course, Nathan. If I may say it, we already had this morning the turbo machinery case from this workshop, and now the high-level prediction workshop. I think that's really great work on like getting SU2 in these kinds of scenarios. It's really appreciated. So, do you have questions?
What do you say about the hot restart strategy didn't work? It was very stability from the previous match. It's not suppressed in the new match.
Mm-hmm.
Did you maybe try some kind of CFL?
Sorry. Yes, every simulation has adaptive CFL. I used also blend of not using the Newton-Krylov solver and using, and the solution is kind of the same. So the way that the fact that using hot start strategy, we still maintain this separation on the upper surface. Maybe this can be avoided by letting run farther. But one thing that I overheard during all the meetings with all the other participants to this TFG is that the more they run, the more it separates. So if we just make it run longer, then it will separate more and more. And for example, there was one participant that had fully attached flow, and really convergence was good, but the residual, and then they tried to run it longer, and it separated everywhere. So it's
we all around its cases of limited, and I can tell you that once we separated, it would have come back. So you need to either go down to the lower hard load attack or something that you get back in.
Yeah, or just start from zero. Yeah, that's.
We would run increasing.
Okay. So yeah,
restarting. Yeah, but once it separates,
stuck with that.
And also to comment on the physical question, I think this is maybe not really a property of numerical settings, but it's really a physical thing that there's basically this two kind of solutions for certain like angles of attack. Because then you can, like, depending on like how you initialize, how your solution process is, you can end up in these two states which are in codes equally valid. And I think that
it's kind of a bifurcation of because if I wasn't able somehow to achieve fully attached flow, then maybe okay, you think okay, maybe it's a problem with the turbulence model, or maybe it's a problem with the implementation. But actually, with cold start, we achieved so the model is able to predict fully attached flow. So it's a problem of how you get there. And plus, recently I found out a little bug for the PR here for the R rotation correction. So maybe I have to try around the cases there.
I would after that.
Like, what was the difference in composition of those between the hard cold sucks?
The difference? The cold starts were really painful to make it converge. Mm-hmm. And especially the fact that when you cold start a fine mesh, is kind of difficult because I mean, using hold start with the nearest neighbor interpolation is also not that trivial. So you have to be really, you have to go really slow at the start. So CFL1 fixed for 1,000 iterations or 100 iterations, and then maybe start increasing. But yeah, the actual length of number of iterations is much longer for cold start.
Yeah. So my follow-up question on the QCR and R correction. So how much V&V have we done? So I noticed that we're still a little bit off on the fixed one. And you said you had a fix. So
I have to try, but I mean, you have not done all in the cold start. We are here.
yeah, probably.
And all the other rules are just the fact that the separation is there. So we maybe it has the trend of
It's hard to see.
yes.
Where's the previous point?
And the previous point is here. So we have this stuff. So cold start and hot start on the Politecnico potentiators, we have the three first points which are essentially the same. So the solution didn't change between V1, V3, and V5, but then when we cold start the V7, we have a jump in the solution here. And when we cold start the V7, we have a jump in the solution just here. So it just aligns again with all the other solvers and with the cold start, at least at mesh 7.
So I have one suggestion. We did something, a similar exercise to V&V, or QCR, and R corrections, but we went for the Joukowsky airfoil. There's a paper I'll share where folks, we have like a true solution on that literature. And that was very helpful for making sure they're about. So we should probably do on that.
Yes.
This is simple, small.
I know that's easy. It's enough now.
We can buy it really quickly.
Okay. I mean, I also tried the QCR corrections for other test cases, but as also other safety solver tried, but then everyone was asking why adding more stuff to the turbulence model degrade the solution with respect to experimental results. So the best agreement with experimental results were just with the SA as soon as we added QCR and so on. So we are supposed to get back to the solution, but then we installed right away. So yeah, it's just other stuff.
Yeah, just one quick comment, Andrea. As a company, Technical officially supports its workshop.
Yeah.
We have the scripts and so on. So if you have any issues with licenses, for instance, for your better for SciTech, just let us know. And
I already talked about with Antoine, and I managed to have another license. I mean, the expiry there is like in January now, so until the SciTech. So really thank you about that. I mean, the TechProt is essential for this, but the fact that they provide only TechProt files for the results. I expected that they provided some CSV file, so with all the results, which is kind of easier to post-process for me because I haven't really used TechProt. But I mean, that's what we have to work with, and we're doing right.
Maybe one more question, because we already said that there's maybe other players at the safety space that ran these cases. Are all the results open with the CFT code that it put, or is it hidden behind like a code?
You have to so for each post-processing, so for each folder of these R participants, you have a file that is participant info, where you have all the who worked on that, and the company, and the safety solver, and the mesh payment, which is important. So give this. So here we are. You can see it, but these are even closer to the family solver.
I think it's on the website. Luminary is 23.
What?
Luminary is R23.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That's fine.
You look it up later.
I think there is a 23. No?
I think you have 22. It's
no.
23.
By one. And these are just random. Just random generated between 1 and 3 out of that were available.
Well, then I would say thanks again, Andrea,